Hi guys, welcome to my inspiring piano walkthrough. I've had a few emails from people asking about the piano that I'm using on this track in particular and the strings and what reverb am I using and stuff. And people asking if the piano has been recorded in live. And I thought the best thing for me to do would just be to give you a look at the session and just a quick talk through of the instruments that I'm using in it. As you can see, it's not that big, not that complicated. I've got this Audio Jungle watermark running through all of it, so sorry about that, but it needs to be done. And yeah, I think the best thing for me to do is just to play it through once so you can have a listen, and then we'll get cracking with going through the instruments. Here we go.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Okay. As you can see, I'm using Pro Tools 12. I'm running through Vienna Ensemble Pro, so nearly all the instruments, apart from these two audio tracks, are being hosted by Vienna Ensemble Pro. And you'll find that most of the instruments I'm using, they're all contact libraries. A lot of Albion 1, 2, and 3, a bit of Adagio, and a few other things in there. So what else? I've got a reverb unit that's kind of on the main bus of Vienna here. And that's an external bit of hardware. It's the Eventide H7600, which is really nice. I kind of use one preset, which is a big hall. And that's it. We've got a few tempo changes up at the top, just to make it feel like it's not on a click for the whole thing. So it kind of has a tiny bit of development in the tempo to make it feel natural. And yeah, I'll get stuck into the instruments. So we've got up here, we've got two audio tracks. I think this is a kind of string sample. It's taken from Organic Strings. I can't remember the company, but they have a load of string one-shots and phrases, and I think a few construction kits. But this one just works nicely to add a bit of, just to make it a bit more natural. And it sits really, really quietly. Let me just play it to you at once.
Audio.
Yeah, but in the mix, you can hardly hear it, actually. Yeah. This pad here is from... this pad's from Omnisphere. I can't remember what one it was, which is a bit rubbish for a walkthrough video, but it's a pad from Omnisphere, and
Audio Jungle.
yeah, and I've put that in there just to complement these breaks, these sections where it all breaks down, and there's some high strings, and it just adds a bit of warmth, I guess. I'll play it here.
Audio Jungle.
Yep. I'll get onto the piano. So we've got a few pianos in there. The main one being Piano in Blue from Cine Samples, which is my go-to piano for most stuff, really, for sort of pop and rock and orchestral. Yeah, it's a good all-rounder. I'll play it to you here.
Jungle.
There you go. So it's very warm, and it's in a nice room. Okay, and we've got a couple more pianos in there. We've got these two here, which are Pro Tools, the stock piano in Pro Tools, set to real, with a little bit of reverb on. They don't sound amazing on their own, but I noticed that in this mix, in this track, when all of the instruments started kicking in, the piano was getting lost a bit. So I added them in just to add a bit of high end and just to sort of raise the volume of the piano a bit. And I've also put them in octaves as well, so it kind of covers a bit of a wider range. I'll play those on their own. They're quite harsh and mechanic, but if you add the piano in blue, it starts helping it out, and let's put it in the whole mix. The piano's definitely still prominent there. There's one more piano. This is the felt piano from Spitfire Audio. It's really soft, but it's a lovely sound.
Jungle.
And I've doubled that up with the Spitfire harp.
Jungle.
On its own is this. It's pretty quiet actually, but I think it helps just with a tiny bit of attack at the beginning because the felt piano's quite rounded and soft. The felt piano actually, it comes in a bit later to complement the melody that the piano in blue's playing. It sounds really nice.
Audio Jungle.
Real soft kind of spacey sound. Yeah, the harp doesn't do that much. It just goes on with that rhythm throughout until the end. We've got this here. This is bass pizzicato. I think.
Audio Jungle.
So this is adagio basses set to pizzicato, and they just sort of plod through the track.
Audio Jungle.
Sorry about that. Watermark has to be there, otherwise I'm given stems for the track. We've got legato basses or cellos, I think, here.
Audio Jungle.
What's going on there? Oh, sorry. The cellos here.
Audio Jungle.
And they are adagio cellos, the ensemble dynamic bowing.
Audio Jungle.
Which sound pretty cool. And the one that I just messed up, this legato bass, just adds a bit of low end when everything starts kicking in. The pizzicato bass gets lost a little bit, so I've added these in just to act like a bass line. Okay, and that's
Audio Jungle.
Albion 3, which is their low end library, which is great. Moving on to this. This is our high string, which starts right at the beginning.
Audio Jungle.
Which is Albion 2, I think. Let's have a look.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
That's too quiet to hear. There he is. Okay. So yeah, Albion 2, strings high, and that's set to legato.
Audio Jungle.
And we've got, I think, an octave with using the same patch later on, because obviously you can't play octaves when it's set to legato because it turns into kind of monophonic. So I wanted the same sound running in octaves over here.
Audio Jungle.
And that's just the same patch, the Albion 2 high strings. Here we've got a big pad of chords, a big sustain, which is Symphobia, which is kind of go-to library for the soft pads of chords You use the mod wheel for it. It's really nice. Listen to those.
Audio Jungle.
And I tend to use the mod wheel on most of the instruments. Most of the string libraries these days comes with a kind of dynamics on the mod wheel, which I find helps make the whole thing sound a bit more realistic, especially in pieces like this where it's not a massive, heavy orchestral session. It's more kind of understated, and it helps give a bit of realism, I find anyway. What's here? We've got a load of staccato coming up. So you can see around here, there's a lot of staccato lines. Starting with this, which is a low cello.
Audio Jungle.
Kind of, yeah, cello. It's in Albion 2, strings low, which is the staccato patch. If we go over here, we've got I think it's, yeah, this is the Adagio violins feather spiccato, which is really nice. It's a lot softer and has a lot less attack than the staccato or spiccato from Adagio. I'll play it to you now.
Audio Jungle.
And it gets a bit more interesting over here on the big section. And I've doubled that line up with the low staccato.
Audio.
They're playing the same, but they've got kind of accents on different notes to make it a bit more interesting. We've got a staccato cello, it looks like here, which again is Albion 2, strings low on the staccato setting there. I always make sure that, well, for something like this, that the close mic's turned on, just so you get the attack, so it's not kind of lost in a big room that they've recorded it in. We've got staccato violins here. Again, Albion 2, and a 16th note low, which is Albion 3.
Audio Jungle.
Again on staccato, but yeah, it seems like there's quite a lot, but if you put them all together, they work.
Audio Jungle.
Okay, so that's a pretty quick, rushed walkthrough of the instruments. I hope it made sense. I've got a few things on my master. I've got this SSL compressor from Waves. It's not doing too much actually. I've been a bit lazy and used it for a bit of gain there, quite a lot of gain actually. But I think the actual compression isn't too much. Yeah, so it's around -2, 3. Gain reduction, we've got isotope 7, which is just doing a little bit. Again, I don't want to do too much on the master, just keep it kind of natural. We've got a little bit of EQ here just to get rid of the mud, because there's quite a lot of pianos in there. This stereo imager, which kind of narrows each band. Oh wow, what was that? That's good. We've got, yeah, it's taken the bass, just closing the stereo image down. You can really go to town with this and just flatten it completely. But I don't mind a bit there. And on the high end as well, I've kind of widened it. You can see there. Which again isn't doing much, just a bit of a hiss. A tiny bit of multi-band compression. Again, not doing much. I've kind of played with the gain there a little bit just to bring up the high end. And just a post equalizer to see what kind of EQ curve I get out of it, if you can see if there's any kind of peaks and stuff, but it kind of looks all right. Okay, well, thank you very much for listening, and you can see my website in the description, and I'll also put my Audio Jungle page in there if you want to go and take a look. Okay, cheers.